So, I have my drawing open. Very first thing it did is I made a copy, and I saved it as something electrical. So I did Rancher Electrical. That way, any changes I make, or if I delete any, why did it do that? Anything I change, the original is still normal. It'll just change on the copy that I made. So to bring in the electrical components, if you go down the bottom and type in Design Center, you'll get this pop-up. Alright, it probably won't go right to electrical for you guys. I had it open earlier today to remind myself. Oh, sorry. My screen's frozen. So again, I did Design Center. I got pop-up. It'll probably default here because you guys haven't opened it up before. I have Global, Imperial, Metric. We're going to go to Imperial. I click on the plus sign. I'm going to go Design. And then I'm going to go here to Electrical. And for right now, we're going to worry about lighting and power. So lighting, if I click on there, I get my different options. I have fluorescent, incandescent, LED, track lighting. If I'm going to go into fluorescent, there aren't a ton of fluorescent bulbs anymore because they're not very energy efficient. But here are some basic ones. When you go into them, there's going to be two different options. There's going to be 3D ones and then 2D. All right, we're going to print out from a top-down perspective, so just worry about 2D. I'm going to go back. I went fluorescent. Let me go incandescent. There we go. So, again, 3D models, 2D models. For this, we're just going to do 2D models. We're going to do ceiling lights. These represent singular lights. A lot of times, older houses, there'll be one in the middle of a room. You can use these ceiling lights as can lights, accent lights. To bring them in, if I click, I can drag it right over, and it will add it into the drawing. I'm also going to bring in a wall-mounted light. This would be for the exterior of the house, like a wall sconce, different things like that. Same thing. I'm going to click, bring it over. Let me collapse that down for lighting. Collapse lighting. Alright, for power, I'm going to bring in 3 different things. First thing is going to be a panel. We're just going to use the panel board. This would be your circuit breaker or breaker box. And then we're going to need receptacles to plug stuff in. Right, the normal receptacle is going to be a duplex receptacle, and it's a circle with 2 lines. Duplex means that there are 2 outlets or 2 plugs, one above, one below. And we'll bring in a 220 receptacle for your washer, dryer, heavier load appliances. Again, same thing. There's 3D, 2D. We're just doing 2D. Let me go back. So along with receptacles, we're also going to need switches. So if I go to switch, there are a couple different options here. Most are going to be single pole. So I'll bring one of those over. And then I'm going to bring 3-way and 4-way switches. That basically means there's a light source that can be turned on from multiple locations. 3-way would be 3 locations, or actually 2 locations, and 4 would be 3. And then you also have dimmer. The switch symbol is the same, it just has this subscript to kind of show the different parts. So I'm going to bring a dimmer, and oh, I gotta place it, and then 3 switch. Alright, so I brought all the basic components in. Once I have them in, I can just copy them and rotate them, use them however I need. For the panel box, this is a little big for a panel box, so we're going to scale it down. If I click on it and go to properties, I can scale my X, Y. So I'm going to do 4, 4, 4. Alright, where you put the panel box, I would suggest putting it in the laundry room. So if I do move, turn object snap back on, oh, where did it jump to? Over here. Alright, and I'll want to grab it by the corner and make sure it's flush against the wall. For your receptacles, so for normal receptacles, I'm going to use copy. I'm going to start by placing them around different places I would need them. So, for example, for a bedroom, you'll probably want a receptacle next to the bed so you can charge your phone. Put one over here along the wall. Place them around. Yep. One in the middle. Alright. I'll put more, but I just wanted to get a couple in here so I can show you how they should face. I'm going to use rotate. And they should be, the 2 prongs should be kind of pointing to the wall, and the circle should be standing out from the wall. So that's how you place your outlets for your lights. Oop, I put it over here. And I can copy it. And if you have light sources already in for your cameras, you can kind of use those to cheat a little bit. If you don't, you can place them. Normally they will be kind of centered in the room. Alright, so I can place the lights and exterior ones. If you place any exterior ones, the flat section will be placed against the wall. So that's my entryway. Put at least 1 light by your exterior doors. You can do 2, but at least 1. So that's placing all of receptacles, placing interior, exterior lights. Last thing will be switches. Same basic thing. I'm going to use copy. Bring them in. When you're placing them, try and think of where it's going to be convenient. Most times light switches are going to be just inside of doors. It doesn't really make sense to have a light switch for the room on the far opposite wall that you would have to walk through a dark room to get to turn it on. Alright, so that's placing all of them. I'll stop here. I'll make the next video. I'll show how to make all the connections. But if you're done rendering, adding your cameras, pictures, all of that, your house listing, you can start bringing in and putting in the electrical components that we're going to need.